Hey there, this is Akshay Madan and welcome back to a new video. In this video, we are going to talk about DeepSeek, especially in context for the developers, right? So if you are a software developer and you are a lot of things are going on currently in the market with respect to DeepSeek, you are overwhelmed. So this is the right place because in this video, I'm going to cover everything about DeepSeek for developers, right? What you need to do at this point of time, what you should build, how you should plan your future, and how you can actually play with DeepSeek. So currently, if you're wondering what this guy is doing on the screen, so I'm actually running a DeepSeek R1, which is the latest DeepSeek reasoning model, open source. I'm running that on my local. That means my data is not leaving my computer also. It is not going to any Chinese server. It is not even leaving my computer. It is there in my system itself. So I'm running DeepSeek R1 on my local. I'll tell you how to do that. What are the other ways how you can use DeepSeek? One way is definitely you can go on their website, try it out, play with it. But if you are a startup and if you don't want your data to leave your country, or especially you don't want it to go to China, then you can follow this video. I'll tell you how you can use it through Perplexity, through Hugging Face, because all of their servers are not in China, they are in US, right? So that I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to tell you how, if you're already using OpenAI APIs, how you can shift from OpenAI to DeepSeek for your application. If you are built an application, if you are a startup, if you have built an application, then how you can shift from OpenAI to DeepSeek. So we have to talk about the API platform. Next thing that we're going to talk about is some of the places DeepSeek doesn't answer very well or it fails. We have to talk about that. The next thing is, as a software engineer, what is your responsibility now? What you should learn, what you should do, because the complete the expectations from a software engineers are changing. So that is important for you if you want to keep pace with whatever is going on. Like, a lot of things are going on. So let's go ahead and jump into the main part of the video. The first thing is the places where DeepSeek is failing. So today in the morning, I tried out to ask some of the questions to DeepSeek about the disputed areas, geopolitical areas, which are under dispute, like they are having a dispute, countries are having a dispute. So Xi China is a disputed area between India and China, so it was not able to answer. Taiwan is again a disputed area, not able to answer properly because according to US, Taiwan is not a part of China, but according to China, it is a part of China. So it should have said that it's a disputed area. ChatGPT gave me the right answer. It said that Taiwan is a disputed area geopolitically, but China, this DeepSeek, a Chinese model, directly gave me the answer that, hey, Taiwan belongs to China. So this is again one thing. Arunachal Pradesh, which is an Indian state, but it comes into dispute many a times. So it was not able to answer that. Is Tibet. Tibet is again a disputed area. Many countries say that Tibet is not a part of China, but this model directly said that Tibet is a part of China. Okay. So the next thing is, yes, there are certain problems with DeepSeek, but officially if you see the benchmarks and the performance, DeepSeek is way better than OpenAI models. So as you can see on my screen also, I told it to generate some information about India, and it did not just give me the information about India, but it also tells me how it is approaching towards the solution. So chain of thought is an important part that we get in DeepSeek, that it thinks how to approach towards the solution, not just give me the solution. Okay, so this is important. The next thing is who has built DeepSeek. So this is also important for you because you should know that who are the people that are so intelligent that they are building such models. As Indians, as Indian techies, it is important for us to know so that we move away from that DSA culture and that DSA CP, watching courses, purchasing courses, wasting time, making some bhaiya didi as the gods. So that culture needs to change now. We need to go deeper into the technology. We need to go deeper into the research, statistics, mathematics. That will be the expectation from a software engineer, not just writing code and solving lead code problems. This is my opinion. So that's why I put forward in front of you. If you think that I'm wrong, you can put in the comment section. But I think we need to move away from that DSA CP culture. That's not something is going to last longer. Yes, DSA is important. Knowing the data structures is important, but that's not the that doesn't cover the 100% work of a software engineer nowadays. So Liang Wenfang, if I'm pronouncing the name correct, they own a hedge fund. So what is a hedge fund? If you don't know, if you have watched the Big Short movie, there you will be seeing what is a hedge fund, what they do, they actually handle billions of dollars of money, right? Using mathematics, using statistics, they predict the market trends and the market rates and everything. So that's what they used to do. And they had a lot of GPUs in their company. So they wanted to use those GPUs for some good cause. They wanted to squeeze the power out of the GPUs. So that's when they formed a group and they started working on DeepSeek. It's not like that. It is they just working on last week or last month and then they launched it. No, the company launched in 2023 October. You can see October 2023 the company got launched, and now they have launched the DeepSeek R1, which is the model way better than OpenAI, right? So it takes time. Okay, so now let's go ahead, and another question is why US companies are worried, why the stocks fell a lot on 27th of January. Still you can see that they have recovered a lot, but on that day, if you see that day chart, they were all red. Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple was in green, but Amazon, all the banks, they were all in red. Why? Because US invested a lot of money on building the AI infrastructure. All the companies used to say that, hey, training LLM takes $100 million, $80 million, $150 million, right? But DeepSeek, using a different approach, which I'm going to talk about in this video, they did it in $6 million, which they are saying, right? It's not that I am saying that they did it in $6 million, but Chinese founders itself, they said that we trained this model in $6 million. It can be way more than that, but according to the official news, they built it in $6 million. But OpenAI took around $100 to $150 million. So that's why all the investors, all the companies panicked, because they thought that, okay, if DeepSeek is open source, they have already released the formula, the recipe of making DeepSeek out in the public, then any company can go ahead and read that, can follow that process, and they can actually build it on their own, or they can also follow that procedure. So we don't need so many GPUs. We don't need that much GPU power. So that's why the Nvidia stocks fell, right? The investors panicked and they may have sold it. Okay. So this is some of the things that were going on in the that were going on in the market since the last week, since the launch of R1. But yeah, you should know about all of this. And now let's go ahead and see the DeepSeek platform, their GitHub, their API platform, and some of the more things for the developers. Let's go ahead. I think it will be best if we start exploring DeepSeek from its official website. So go on deepseek.com, and if you want to try out their web app, then you can click on the start now. If you want to try out their mobile app, then you can choose this option. But the most important thing on this website is the comparison of DeepSeek V3, which is the latest DeepSeek model, with its competitors. So if you want to compare, then you can compare it with Qwen 2.5, that is again a Chinese model. Then Llama 3.1, which is by Facebook Meta. Then Claude Sonnet 3, which is by Anthropic, and it is considered as one of the best models for writing code. And then we have GPT-4o, which is by OpenAI, and it used to be considered as one of the best reasoning models out there in the market. But now we have DeepSeek, which is like an open source model. So OpenAI, the name says, hey, we are building open source AI, but actually the OpenAI got built by DeepSeek. So that's an irony, but that's great. And you can see that all the benchmarks which are there, they are aligning towards DeepSeek, and DeepSeek is like failing all of the other models in the market. So all of these benchmarks depict one capability or one use case. Like if you know Code Forces, which is there, like over here you can see the benchmark of Code Forces percentile. So this Code Forces is basically to test out a model's capability in writing code. Then SW is like software engineering capabilities itself. Then we have some English writing, English speaking, English writing skills, reasoning skills, then mathematical and logical skills. So all of these benchmarks showcase a different capability. So if you want to know the purpose of this benchmark, go ahead and search on DeepSeek itself, or any you can just Google it, right? So that's what is depicted on this website. Now let's go ahead and check out the main thing which DeepSeek has launched on their GitHub portal. So as a developer in 2025, as a coder in 2025, your responsibility is not just to write code, use APIs, and build a product, because now these LLMs are here, guys. Like they can also build it. So as a software engineer, your role will also be to go deeper into these technologies, understand them, and then fine tune them or build on top of them, right? But you cannot just rely on your programming skills nowadays, right? So go on DeepSeek repository, GitHub account, and go on the repositories, and you can see that approximately 16 repositories they have launched till now. We are interested in DeepSeek R1, which is the latest reasoning model launched by DeepSeek. So how you have to go through their code. So basically, first of all, you will see the DeepSeek R1 PDF. So this will be the official research paper that DeepSeek has launched. Everything that they have done reinforcement learning, because they replaced the supervised fine-tuning with reinforcement learning, so that you can read in this article, in this paper, research paper, right? So I'm not telling you to go ahead and just try to mug up this research paper or just take this research paper and start reading, but actually give it a lighter read. I also won't be able to understand all of these mathematics because I'm not a researcher, I'm not a statistician, I'm not a mathematician, right? I won't be able to understand this. A lot of research, a lot of time is required to understand all of this mathematics. But if you will give this a read at least once, you will understand a lot of the things that they have done, right? So go ahead and give it a read, a lighter read, and then you can come back. And the main thing for you on this repository is this README file. This README file is not at all complex to read. It provides you all the resources, all the benchmarks, all the comparison, model evaluation, the process that they follow to train it, and what you can do, how you can train it locally or using a cloud. Everything is written in this README file. So as a developer, as a coder, important part for you is to read this README file. Okay. And some of the links are also here. You can see again the paper link is here. Then the comparison of different benchmarks is over here with DeepSeek and the other OpenAI models, reasoning models. So this is important for you. Focus on this paragraph. This is very important. So all the other models, like if you take Llama, Mistral, or any other model, I may not be like 100% right, but all the information that I have gathered in the past few days, I am giving to you. If I make any mistake and if you think that you're right, do let me know in the comment section. So all the other models used to go ahead with a supervised fine-tuning technique to fine-tune a model using the base model. But DeepSeek used reinforcement learning. Now, if you don't know what reinforcement learning is, think of a baby, right? Whenever a baby is born, the baby doesn't know anything. The baby doesn't know how to walk, how to talk, how to eat, how to speak, nothing. But the baby takes input from the environment. Environment is the family, the home, right? And using that environment inputs, baby learns, right? And there is also a concept of the reward, right? If the baby performs something good, like if the baby crawls or walks, then a reward is given to that baby, right? So baby thinks that, okay, so this is a good thing and this is the thing that I'm doing is right. So that's how baby learns, using the environment, using an agent, and using the reward mechanism. So this is the basics of reinforcement learning. So, and this is the base of the DeepSeek, right? So if you want to go ahead and fine tune a DeepSeek model for your use case, or if you want to go deeper into DeepSeek, reinforcement learning is something that you need to study. But why exactly did they do that? Why didn't they also go ahead with the supervised fine tuning? So this is the place where human research capabilities and curiosity comes into play. So actually US has put some sanctions on the GPU exports to China. So that's why this is the official release by the Chinese folks who built this. So because of that, these Chinese folks did not have access to the latest GPU chips by the NVIDIA. So that's why they had to use the older versions of those chips. And because of that, they had to find out some other techniques using which they can train their base model, right? So that's when they found out this technique, and that's how this got discovered or invented. So this is a place where it all depends on how much you are dedicated and passionate about the industry, right? So this is one thing. Now let's go ahead and find out how you can actually use these models. One way is definitely to use the web app by DeepSeek, but this is not how you will be able to build applications, right? You need the APIs. So the beautiful part of DeepSeek API is that, let me go on their platform. So let's go over here and let's go to API platform, right? Currently under maintenance. Okay, so this is expected because a lot of traffic is coming on DeepSeek. So let's wait for that. So till the website comes back, what we can do is we can also learn a bit about the latest release from DeepSeek, which is the Janus model. So as we know that OpenAI has DALL-E 2, DALL-E 3 models for image generation. We have Mid-Journey Stability Diffusion for image generation. We have Flux for image generation. Similarly, DeepSeek was also not behind. They also released their own image generation model, which is the Janus model, right? And this is also again available on Hugging Face. I'll show you to how you can use these models locally or using the cloud services. If you don't want to, if you are skeptical about the Chinese security and privacy concerns, then you can go ahead and download the model locally also and you can run it. I'll tell you how to do that. But Janus is an image generation model, and again they have released their research paper. You can go ahead and read it. Now let's go ahead and find out some of the benchmarks that they have released about Janus. This is the official chart they have launched, and you can see that we have SD3 medium, that is stability diffusion medium. Then we have Pixar, then we have SDXL, then we have DALI 3, and then we have Janus. So you can see that Janus is actually at par, or it is slightly better than the other image generation models in the market. So you can study more about it. So this is the benchmarks chart that they have launched, and definitely you can go ahead and give it a shot also on Hugging Face. Now let's go ahead and see how you can use these models. One way is definitely to use the DeepSeek website, right? DeepSeek website, DeepSeek app, and you can also use their APIs. We'll check them out once they are back. But most of you, especially if you're a startup, right, you won't feel good if you have to use a Chinese hosted models, right? Because the DeepSeek website, the DeepSeek models APIs, they are all hosted in China, right? And you don't want your data to go in China. So if you're a startup and you want that your data stays inside your country or it can go to US, then first option for you to do is you can use Perplexity, right? You can use Perplexity APIs. They have already launched DeepSeek R1, but the problem over here is you have to use the pro plan of Perplexity, and most of us don't have the pro plan of Perplexity. But if you're a startup and you have a concern that you don't want to try out the Chinese hosted models, then you can go ahead and switch to Perplexity Pro plan, right? And then you can use the Perplexity models, DeepSeek R1, and you can use this using their APIs. That's one. Another thing is you can self-host the model, right? But before that, you need to understand how you can download the model, right? So best place for us to download the model is definitely the model hub that is called the Hugging Face, right? So let's go on Hugging Face and see how to use these DeepSeek models over there. So I'm on Hugging Face, and if I go to models, yes, you can see at the top itself, they are trending. A lot of traffic Hugging Face is getting because of these DeepSeek models. So go on DeepSeek R1, right? And you can use the inference API. So you can see that your sentence will be over here, and without anything, like you don't have to like pay anything to DeepSeek or to Hugging Face right now to try it out. But I think to use the Torch API and use the Transformers API, you actually need their Hugging Face API token. So using that you can do it, and there are like a lot of API calls. You can do it for free also, right? So that's how you can do it. And these models won't be hosted in China. These models will be hosted in Hugging Face servers, right? So that's a good part for you. Similarly, the models that you're using through Perplexity, they will be hosted in US in Perplexity servers, not in China, right? So that's a good thing. So let's try it out. Let's give it a shot. Tell me something about India. Okay, let's send it, and then you are going to get some information. So you can see it is super fast. The user asked to tell me something about India. Let's see, where should I start? India. So you can see this is chain of thoughts, right? It is not just giving me the information about India. It is actually also telling me how to think and how to figure out the solution of the problem that the user has given, right? So this is the beauty of DeepSeek, that it thinks, and it also puts forward to the user that how the model is thinking, right? So that's why DeepSeek reasoning models are considered at the top right now. So you can go ahead and you can check out, you can click this button, use this model, click on the transformers. You're going to get this code, get the access token or the Hugging Face official API token and the API key. And then you can start using it on a Python notebook or on your local VS Code also. Okay. So this is a good thing for you. Then the next thing is if you want to use your self-hosted models, right? If you don't want to use Hugging Face models also, and if you want to download the DeepSeek models, use it without internet connection, then you have to go ahead with Ollama, right? So let's go on Ollama. So you can see that there is a download button, very plain website. So let's click on download. and let's download it for Windows. If you are on Linux, Macs, that's up to you. Download for Windows. Let it download. Till then, click on models, and you can see that again DeepSeek R1 is at the top. Let's go over here, and all you need to do is once Ollama is downloaded, you only need to run this command in your terminal, and your DeepSeek R1 model will be ready in your local. You don't even need internet connection to make a call to DeepSeek R1 and get your inference. Okay. Over here, you are going to get a lot of options of which DeepSeek R1 version you want. So all of these B values that you are seeing, these are the parameters. So 5B means 5 billion, 7B means 7 billion, 8B means 8 billion, 14 billion, 32 billion, 70 billion. So as you are going to increase the model parameter size, the model size is also going to increase, right? And I think it will be in GBs, like 20 GB, 40 GB or something. I think that is not written over here. Let me see. Yes, it is written over here. So if you just download the 1.5 billion parameter DeepSeek R1, that will be requiring 1.1 GB of storage. But I think I can actually get up to 4 GB. I can take, I guess, 8 billion also. If I take 14 billion, that will be bit okay. Let's go ahead with the 8 billion one. Okay, I'll download this 8 billion one model. I'll clone it, and then without internet connection, I'm going to make calls to DeepSeek R1. Another good part will also be that many of you may not be using GitHub Copilot, right, or Cursor or Devin or anything, right? So now using Ollama, if you use it, you can actually use DeepSeek R1 using the VS Code extension, and you can generate code using your VS Code also. So that is again a good thing that you can get. So Ollama setup is ready. I'll click on this and let's install it. Yes, click on install. Let it install. So Ollama is installed. Now if I just go ahead and run Ollama. So now I have opened terminal in my Windows, and if I just say Ollama -- version, then you are going to see that Ollama is downloaded successfully. And all I need to do is I need to run this command Ollama run DeepSeek R1 8 billion, and it is 4.9 GB, so definitely it will take some time. So I'll just pause the video and let it pull the complete model in my local. So now the DeepSeek R1 8 billion model is downloaded in my local. Now if I try to send a message, let's say, hey, can you generate Python code for Fibonacci series. Let's see what it generates. Okay, the user is asking for Python code, so you can see it is first of all thinking what the user wants, then it is generating the steps, and then eventually it is going to reach to the final output, right? Not like ChatGPT where it just gives you the output. So this is how developers can actually run the models locally. And now this cloned model you can also use with VS Code extension, which you can use as your code copilot. Okay, so that also you can do. So luckily the API documentation is also now live. The service is back, and this is what I want to tell you is the beautiful part of the API documentation of DeepSeek that I have found is that you don't have to write any API call if you already have written the API calls and you have written the code using OpenAI GPT-4o, right? So even the plugin and even the client libraries are the OpenAI APIs itself. Only one thing that you need to do is change the base URL from openai.com to deepseek.com and just change the API key from OpenAI API key to DeepSeek API key. That's it. If you are using Node.js client and you used to do npm install OpenAI, or if you used to do like in Python you used to do pip install OpenAI, that remains same, right? You have to download OpenAI client libraries and Node.js client libraries itself. You can see import OpenAI from OpenAI. So you can see the first line, DeepSeek API uses the API format compatible with OpenAI. By modifying the configuration, you can use the OpenAI SDK or software compatible with the OpenAI API to access the DeepSeek API. So DeepSeek is kind of playing here, right? If all the companies had to shift their code from OpenAI to DeepSeek client libraries, then there was a challenge for them. There was a barrier for them. But what DeepSeek did, they used the same client libraries of OpenAI itself, and all you need to do is just change these two things, and now suddenly you are using the OpenAI client library, but at the backend you are hitting the server of DeepSeek. Okay, you are hitting the server of DeepSeek with DeepSeek API key. There is no role of OpenAPI now, right? Because you have already pulled the client library of the OpenAI, sorry. Okay, great. So this is the beauty. So if you have already built an application using OpenAI, just change these two things and suddenly you are shifted to DeepSeek. Nothing else you need to do. No code change you have to do. Before leaving, I want to give you one resource that I found, which is like really beautiful. This is a LinkedIn post by Thomas. Just 23 hours ago he posted, and over here the last 1 week, whatever happened in the DeepSeek industry, DeepSeek field, or like DeepSeek related to DeepSeek, all the articles he has curated over here, right? So I'll send this link, I'll keep this link in the description, and you can see that whatever happened, the best of the best posts on the internet related to DeepSeek are in this article of Thomas. And the beautiful part of this article is I also got featured in one of his mentions. So really thanks to Thomas. And where is it? Let me search. Yes. So this is my LinkedIn post, which I posted on how you can shift from OpenAI to DeepSeek if you have already built an application. So I also got featured here, and you can also check out the other 70 resources, right? So I'll put this link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will keep in mind my point of that DSA thing that I put forward. And I hope you will build some beautiful applications. If you build an application in DeepSeek using DeepSeek, post it on LinkedIn, tag me, and I'll give you a shout out. Till the next video, keep coding, keep innovating, and thanks a lot.